What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
We are a husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. If you got any clients relocating to Oregon, send them our way. We'd love to give you a referral fee, but we come on here every single week and we just talk about real estate. So that's what we're going to do today. We don't have any agenda.
Let's create a title right now, off the spot, okay? And my title is going to be, can you guess it?
No.
How to win in real estate.
So I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, how to win in real estate.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, like I said, this is all very just like conversational, like off the top of our heads. We just sit down and have a conversation about real estate. And thank you guys for joining in. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love chatting with you guys in the comments. We love hearing your opinions, what's working for you, your feedback, comments, questions, all of that in the comment section below. But
real estate's fun though.
Yeah.
Like this is what real estate's all about. It's about camaraderie, but also how can we help you, but also you help us. Send us a comment to help us how maybe you're winning in your market and how maybe we're not winning and how we can incorporate into our business.
Right.
Because ultimately, I think that's what this channel's about, and helping each other. That's kind of the big platform that I'm about, and then the service aspect. And I'm not only wanting to service my clients, but also service you guys to get where you need to be. I haven't quite made it yet, but we're somewhat there. I have a good roof over my head. I got a 3-year-old daughter almost. We got you. You're a beautiful woman, and we are licensed real estate professionals. So when I say the word real estate professional, Mariah, what does that like bring to your mind? Like, what does that mean to you? Think about it if you need. Take a second.
I think of someone who is professional.
Okay.
Someone who's
in the
professional.
description. Okay.
Someone who's does their job well and works hard for their clients and gets the job done.
Okay, that's beautiful. So I heard some really good things. Working for your client and getting the job done. That's professionalism. To me, I like bringing the service aspect, but that's getting the job done. Because ultimately, we're in a business for a referral-based client, right? So if we're doing business right now, I'm looking at it 5-10 years down the road, 8 years, when they decide to resell the home value. Are you on board with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so every transaction from beginning to the end, that's when I open the first home to this client. How am I acting? Am I being a resource? Am I helping them find the right questions? The hard questions are sometimes the hardest ones to find. For instance, I just got an email this morning from a buyer's agent. I'm representing the seller in this transaction, but the buyer's agent gives me a full list of questions. And I'm like, and I scratch my beard.
Don't you love that?
I say, man, okay, this is more of a job for me to do. I have to find out the right answers for my sellers. But that is your duty, guys. You have a fiduciary duty to ask the questions if you're on one side, but then also find the questions if you're on the other side. That's what's going to make you the best agent, and that's providing a service to ultimately get the deal done and make money for your client, whether that's a seller or buyer, because I'm looking at an investment purpose too.
Okay, but what I want to know is what would you do, like how to win in real estate? What would you do if you were just starting out?
If I'm just starting out?
Yeah, how would you get clients?
Okay.
What would you even do?
So if I was getting my license right now, and I just got licensed a month ago, and I'm twiddling my thumbs saying, I have no business. You have a choice to make. Do you want to be an independent licensed contractor and work on your own name? Or do you want to join a team that maybe be more successful in the area or more successful in the office you're currently in because you don't want to switch offices, you just branded yourself? I would say make that choice for one. Independent team, okay? Personally, if I didn't have Mariah in the business when I first jumped in, I would join a team regardless, first step of the way, so I could get my feet wet. Maybe I'm making less money, commission cuts, whatsoever is going on. But I'm at least making deals. I'm making exposure for myself because this is a transaction that is kind of one-on-one. When I'm talking with the client, even though I'm representing the team, I am Spencer Crawford in the moment. Hey guys, it's Spencer. Good to see you again. in that moment, they recognize me as an individual. So then that repeat referral base could maybe come 5, 10, 8 years down the road, like I mentioned earlier. So the team management would be get your feet wet, get you familiarized with the contracts, get you familiar with how to conduct business, but then also to find yourself. And by finding yourself, I don't mean replicating what everybody else is doing, replicating what everybody else is wearing. What I'm saying is take note, how do they conduct their business? Okay, that kind of fits my personality trait. Let's go off of that. Let's tune it to fit my own personal needs and self. Now let's go work it maybe a year, 2 years down the road and become an individual off of the team.
Right.
And there's no disrespect to not being on the team anymore that you joined initially, because you're grateful. You have gratitude. And ultimately, you have a relationship with all those agents that are on that team too.
And you got to learn, you got to learn so much, because ultimately, you don't know anything when you first start out.
Absolutely.
But I disagree with you. I don't think I would start out on a team.
That's fine.
I don't regret not starting on a team, and I don't think
It's
I would
the
do that
easy way.
again. Yeah, I think if you're in a position maybe where it's just not working for you, you're just not getting the business you want to get, and you got to pay your bills, or you're going to have to get out of the business and it's just not working, then I would say maybe that's a good option. But
yeah,
I don't think that'd be my first choice.
Yeah, and you make a really good point, though, because if you force yourself to be an individual, busting down the doors, door knocking, cold calling, doing what it takes, writing handwritten letters to prospective clients, you're doing what it takes, and you understand how hard it is to sometimes get business. And that's a life lesson you don't take back. I mean, I guarantee you, Mariah, when you first started, you don't regret a single part of doing all the hard work before kind of the referrals come in, or even people from online or out-of-state clients are reaching out to you. You don't, right?
Not at all. No. And I'm glad that those first clients were for sale by owners, because they were harder clients to work for. And then when I did start to get referrals, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's like a whole different job, because I was used to working with for sale by owners who are just known as being a little bit more difficult, particular type of people to work with, difficult type of clients. Not only difficult, more difficult to get the client, because you got to do so much work to get your foot in the door and then to compete, but more difficult to work with once you even have the listing, because they don't know you and like you and trust you, and they're pickier. And so if you start out working with those kind of clients, then referrals are just going to be a big breath of fresh air.
That's a true testament, though, that not a lot of people really understand is the type of clientele you've worked with in the past only makes you benefit or better for the future client. Yeah. And that's something I really want the new agent, but also current agents to know, is don't take a bad transaction as an unsuccess or an obliterated failure and go on to a burrow for the next week. Take it as something to put down in your notes, your journal, date it, or transaction list that's in your CRM, and say, do this differently next time. Because once you misstep in a transaction, it's really hard to recover. Right. If you say one thing wrong to the buyer's agent or seller's agent, whoever's party you're representing, that can predict the image of your client and then hurt you in negotiations for the future of that transaction. So that's really important to know. That's really good, though, that you mentioned that with for sale by owners and those first clients you initially started working with.
Right.
That's really important. It's really important. Right. So to be a successful agent right now, though, what are we seeing in the year of 2022? Because there's so much ramp about, man, I do this, I do that, I'm the best at that. What maybe makes your business successful for you, not for the audience, but for you? So maybe our audience can take what you're doing and maybe apply it to their business.
I think, first of all, once you get the business, you need to be even more prepared than before and be going over the top with even better service than before, because it's just more competitive. There's more clients out there. Everyone knows so many different, so many realtors, and I would say more competitive than ever. So I would say once you get the client, we just can't be giving like whatever regular service they expect, just going over the top and with communication. And it's all simple things. It's not like anything crazy, but it is because a lot of people don't do it. And I know this from talking to other agents.
I don't want to cut you off, but you're not buying any resources or anything for these services, right? Like you're just putting it in your phone, right? And but keeping track of who's who.
But then once you, what?
Like to answer questions.
What do you mean?
Who's who, like the service you're providing for, you know, like to keep track of your clients. Because if you have multiple clients, you can get confused with the different client.
Right. But sorry, I was like, what? I didn't understand how you were saying that. But once you get the client, I think you need to go over the top. But even just to get the client, that's, I mean, the whole first thing. Like you can't do a good job for them until you actually get the client. So, like, what would I do right now? What was the question?
Yeah. To win in real estate, get a new client. What would I do? Let's do that. What's your business doing right now to get a new client and winning them over, whether it's a seller or a buyer?
Okay. I would say what I'm doing right now is I think it's really, really important to, once you get a lead comes to you, say they come to your, email inbox, for example. Most of my leads are coming to my email inbox. Sometimes it's a call, text, or DM or Facebook message, but usually it's through my email because that's really what I push for and advertise because that's where I want people coming in through. Once they come in through my email, I'm going to really push for a phone call. And this is buyers because like I've talked about before, a good majority of my clients right now, I'm kind of like just taking a route where I'm specializing in relocation clients, and they're generally relocation buyers from other areas moving to our area. And he's working with most of our sellers and in area buyers. And I don't know how long we'll do that. I don't know if, this will change at any point. I'm sure it will down the road. We'll pivot and grow as we do with our business. But right now, this is just like what's working really well for this season and what we enjoy. So say someone comes to me, in my email. I used to never do this when I would work with buyers before, and I hated working with buyers. Like, I'm telling you, I think I've put out videos before where I was like, working with buyers is a waste of time. Why I hate working with buyers. And now it's completely flipped to where I adore it. I love it. It makes me so happy. And I think it's because I do things differently, and the type of clients I get are so different from the ones I would work with before. Things are just way better. But anyway, back to what I was saying. But the first thing I do, which I never did before, I used to just meet people at a house. I always have a consultation. It's a simple, small thing, but it makes a huge difference.
Do you come scripted, or do you have a list of things to put like in the consultation? Like what's your goal?
I have a handful of things I'm going to touch on, basically just to, there's a couple reasons for this. One of them is I want to get a feel for what they're looking for. I want to have a conversation with them, ask them a lot of questions, help them like be able to feel that we are interested in them. They can trust us. Like, we do have their best interest in mind. And a phone call or FaceTime call can really portray that and like establish a relationship better than, from what I found, than just emailing back and forth or just messaging back and forth. I do have a handful of things that I know in my mind, like I'm going to try to touch on this. Like, we're going to go over here. And it's basically just like explaining things that, it's easy for us as agents to assume that buyers know, but just in case, I'd rather over communicate and make sure they know that. So just simple things about the process, I'm
going to cut you off right there because you just said something so important. The assumptions that you think buyers know.
Yeah.
That's so big. That's so big because ultimately, I mean, I revert back to when I'm a 19-year-old, 20-year-old self. Mariah's a real estate agent then. I had no idea about the transaction. I had no idea about how to buy a house. We bought our first house. I mean, Mariah wrote up the contract paperwork. She was telling me stuff. It went so far over my head. It was unreal.
I didn't even realize that.
And I signed things I was like, yep, DocuSign. Because DocuSign's so easy, right? this is something so important that I have forgotten, honestly. And the fact that you just brought it up is
Even
so
if
good.
they bought a house before, they just don't remember.
forget.
And I forget because to us, it's like common every day. Like you're stating the obvious. That's what it feels like to us. But we're really not, because they're not doing this all the time. Like they're not buying houses consistently. Like it's
they don't
really
know what
not.
this fee's for.
Yeah.
They don't know if they have to pay for the inspection themselves.
Yes.
They don't know if the appraisal's included in their loan or not.
And
they don't know what closing costs even are.
yeah.
Like ultimately, those are all people that you put on your team's place to get those answers for.
Right.
And that's why you guys as brokers should be having those people, whether it's a lender, escrow agent, inspector, appraisal relationships in case a bad appraisal comes in, those type of things in place to service your client.
But pushing for that, first and foremost, like right off the bat, pushing for that.
So good.
Call, FaceTime, in person if they're going to be in town, like that consultation. Even though it's so simple, like it's really nothing crazy that I do. It's not like this big speech or anything. Sometimes it's pretty quick even. But really pushing for that first and foremost, I really think it, one, helps our whole transaction go smoother because they know what to expect. It saves me a lot of time in, later down the road. It saves issues from happening. And then also I don't have to follow up with them. I don't have to beg them to work with me or remind them to work with me. I don't have to have them sign a loyalty agreement. I've never done that before, but they always are loyal. Yeah. And I really think that's a big part of it. So that's one thing is push for that appointment.
Do you come with paper? Do you hand them a big packet? Or is this all kind of verbal for the most part on your initial, maybe first showing with them?
It's not on the first showing. It's not on the showing. No, okay. It's a separate appointment. I schedule, and I don't come with paper because it's not even in person.
Paper
Very
gets
rarely,
lost.
if they're in town and want to meet with me, then I'll meet with them. But it's almost always over the phone or FaceTime because they're not here. So it's not in person. I don't bring anything. No, I'll send them an email after thanking them for their time, but that's about it. Yeah, it's super simple.
So good.
So that's one thing. What were we talking about? What would I do?
Dude, how you're a successful agent, how you're winning in real estate.
I think that's one thing that's like working
it's
really
not even
well.
about being new. It's right now. It's relevant.
Yes.
So you've been in the business for years. Change it.
That's one thing relevant. Which is crazy because like I never thought years ago, I never saw myself working with buyers. I never saw myself. I always thought
Trust me. She was like, I don't do buyers. I don't
hate
like
it.
buyers.
I only liked listings.
Let's not say the word hate, but
I did.
I dislike buyers.
But also everyone you listen to online, like real estate coaches, training, whatever, like everyone pushes
buyers.
Listings. No, they push listings and they only talk about like how buyers are just a waste of time and you don't want to work with buyers and all this. But like I've had the best transactions and I've had like the ability to make more money and work less from buyers. So there's not one way of doing things. Like there's so many ways of doing things and this is just what's working for me right now. But
that's really good.
Yeah.
And that's so relevant. I'm with her side by side and Mariah, she really is killing it. She's a top producer agent in our area. We're a top producing team in our area. And that is something that's important and to label and to title and promote. If you are in this real estate industry, people got to know who you are. You do not want to be a secret agent.
Can I add something too?
Please.
But to go back to the buyers, like the call or presentation or whatever, instead of just meeting them at a house, if you're not working with buyers who are from out of the area, that's something I would definitely still do. Like, even if, like, say a buyer, I don't know how you get your buyers, but if a buyer messages you on Instagram or Facebook that is local and wants to buy a house, like I would really just try to get them on the phone first and it'll help things go a lot smoother from my experience because I never used to do that.
Any points of contact are going to be the best for you, whether it's in person, over the phone, FaceTime, Zoom. Get as many points of contact. In what's really cool right now to segue into how maybe I'm winning in this real estate market is the video aspect of real estate and how even you've said it in the past, we are no longer just a real estate professional. We are marketing professionals. We are marketers. Whether that's self-promotion, whether that's for our sellers, that's for our buyers, sending them material and information. That is our job. That is our label. And we are a media company. And that is something that's going to just make your business become so much more and astronomically high in sales volume, but also customer base. You're going to reach a new level. And in a way, I've incorporated that into our business here at Ventures Crawford Realty using video. Now, I have some videos just saved in links that I haven't even used yet through YouTube, and I just send a direct link to clients, new prospects, and this is on a mass level.
So you send the client a video of you saying
of whatever the subject is, whether it's for sale by owner, expired, new client introduction. For sale by owners is one of my main sources that I'm reaching out to.
Can I also add something? So I've heard of agents doing this before, but it was through this app called, I think it's Boomtown. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Where you pay for it.
Yeah.
You pay, I don't know how much it is, but you like send a video to someone through this app. But you don't have to do that. You're literally doing it through a private YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's not a channel we upload on. Besides, everything's unlisted, which means it's basically private. They can only view it if you send them the link. So it's kind of like you don't have, like there's other ways of doing it.
Every time I've ever received like a video email or a video text through like that source, I just completely feel different about it. Just the way that it's structured. It seems salesy. There's a play button, and then there's like a box around it sometimes. And then the pixels are always just not as clear as should be, honestly. And there's something about it, like the low qualityness to me. Because, I mean, on my initial videos, I don't have a sound hookup or anything. I'm literally just speaking into my iPhone. I try to stay the most up-to-date on the current iPhone just for camera purposes and quality.
Yeah.
But that's been a lifesaver.
You know what I just had yesterday? I had an agent reach out to me through Instagram DMs, but instead of a DM, she sent me a video. Which, have you had that happen before?
I have not.
Okay,
that's fun. That's really fun.
As someone who
it's kind of scary.
Puts themselves out there online, I obviously get a lot of messages saying, "Hey, let's pass referrals back and forth, like whatever," and like, which is great. We love like networking with other agents. That's awesome. But this agent, instead of just messaging me, I'd never haven't had anyone do this before. She sent a video message on Instagram, which you just like, you can record through your DMs, I'm pretty sure, and you just send it. I've never done it, but she sent a message through video and was like, "Hey, I'm in an area where, we might have lots of referrals going back and forth. Let's connect, whatever." Just introducing yourself, like, "Thanks for following me back," whatever. And I just thought, like, that's really cool, because now, like, the other agents that just sent me a message asking to send referrals back and forth, I would have never remembered their face or like their profile, but because it was a video, it really stuck out. And now I'm going to remember her and her page when I see her versus just a picture, which I see so many of those I wouldn't remember. So I thought that was really cool. Like, caught my attention.
It's a real game changer, and that's how you in real estate can be winning.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. Maybe I'll do that. If you do that, I'd love to hear about
bold.
it in the comments below.
Be bold.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Yeah. So anyway, just to get to before we end our topic, because we kind of been all over the place.
No, this is all about good subjects, good topics on how you can benefit in your business.
How to win in real estate. Like, just in a nutshell. How does someone win in real estate in 2022?
We're coming to a moment of boldness.
I don't know that we really answered that. Like,
absolutely. We just gave two things of how you're winning and then how I'm winning. Incorporate that into your business. Now, another thing that you and I have been talking about that I'm going to share with you guys is, and this is so funny because it reverts down to like how my clients could win in an offer like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
What are you doing differently? Don't be the average agent. Just send postcards or mailers. Of course, if you have marketing finances, do that. Of course, if that's a budget that you can take, do that. Yeah. But what are you doing differently that's going to catch the eye of a seller or buyer that is on a magnitude level, whether it's online, in person, over social media, that could be as a free resource to you, or you can make your business even financially just become different than real estate because we are marketing professionals.
Yeah.
Get exposure. Get exposure as much as you can, and that is how you can be winning. Think outside the box, not like the other agent, to have a mailer. You sign up for a fee, and cool, your neighborhood just received a mailer, and they somehow know your face,
but
not who you are.
Another thing, like, to add to that is, I think the biggest, to answer the question, if we're just going to answer this question like straight away, is to win in real estate, you just need consistency. Ooh. That's it. That's the only answer. Because like I've said before, all these things work that we're talking about, but none of them, like, you're not going to get business from posting 2 posts or sending 2 videos to someone or sending 1 postcard. Like, all of them take consistency, and probably more consistency than you think they're going to take. So they're all long-term things. Like, this is real estate in general is the long game. It's not a kind of business you want to get into to make a quick buck, because it's not going to happen. You got to think of it as a marathon and not a sprint. Like, you're running a business here, so you want to, like, lay a foundation, have solid systems in place, so your business isn't running you, you're running it, and just be like, pick what you enjoy. There's so many ways to get business, and pick what you're good at and what makes you happy, and then be consistent and stick with it until it works, because it eventually will. And I'd love to hear in the comments below how you're winning in real estate. What's working for you?
Mariah, you're fabulous. We're going to end the show there. Thank you so much for that last comment. And that is how you can be winning in real estate.